To 2026 with New Year's resolutions. Peter Schrager.
Yeah.
What's your New Year's resolution for the Buffalo Bills? Philadelphia Eagles.
They're so frustrating. Honestly, I just want the Philadelphia Eagles to figure out what their offensive identity is. I feel like we've been asking that question for 18 weeks.
Yes.
And I still don't have an answer. They have talent at every position, and yet we look at this team, they're maddening because too many 3-and-outs, except when Jalen Hurts when he throws for under 200 yards, they're 9-0. When he throws for more than 200 yards, they're like 2-5. I cannot make sense of this team. I really don't know. And they're too good. The thing that gives me hope is honestly they're the defending champs and they have the talent.
Yeah.
That's all I got, guys. Because every week you want answers from the OC, from the head coach, and nothing seems to change.
To your point, a lot of the same guys that were on the field months ago winning the Super Bowl are still on the field for them. Listen, they played the Raiders and the Commanders, and I know it was the Raiders and the Commanders, but we saw a spark from their offense. We saw them going into empty formations and Jalen Hurts being able to throw the ball. We saw Saquon Barkley finding space in the run game. Hell, we saw it in the first half of that Buffalo Bills game. Sal Powell, who was at the game, talked about how insane the weather was, and not to make that as an excuse, but the way Buffalo played them, if teams are going to do that and play man-to-man and blitz and get after Jalen Hurts, it opens up things on the outside for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They didn't make those connections on Sunday, but seeing that for me, I think moving forward, there is some hope. There is some cautious optimism around this team because you think, hey, on any given Sunday, like you can get that version of the Eagles offense and they can beat you.
I'm going to take you back to February. The Super Bowl ends. I'm working for Fox. We do the post-game stuff. And I'm walking out of the tunnel, and all alone, there's Vic Fangio. He'd been coaching the NFL for 40 years, and he just won his first Super Bowl title. And he's not beaming with smiles. He's not doing this. He's just walking with, like, a book bag, like he was any old guy just walking out there. I'm like, congrats. And he's like, yeah, thank you. Yes, of course, yes. Did you pick us? I'm like, I picked the Chiefs. But he's like, all right, well, then I got you. But truth of the matter is, he is the fixer for all of this. So they have this amazing luxury where they could put 13 yards of offense up in the second half, but when they need it most, somehow Vic Fangio is going to dial it up where they're going to be able to stop Josh Allen on a 2-point conversion at the end. That's what gives me comfort with this team. That's where I'm like, all right, they're all experienced. They've all been there. They've done this.
Yeah.
And Vic is calling the defense. So Stafford, Purdy, whoever.
And that's okay.
Vic Fangio is going to be calling the D, and I think I have trust in that.
Who's coming in there? They'll either be the 2 seed or the 3 seed. So if they're the 2 seed, they're going to get Green Bay.
Yes.
But it's less likely that they're the 2, right? It's more likely that they're the 3.
Probably going to be the Rams as a 6 going in there, who quite honestly, as much as we talk about these great games they've had, they're 3-0 the last 3 times they played the Rams. They win those games.
That was the game where they blocked the 2 kicks.
Yes, and in the snow last
the Rams feel like we could have won that game in that weather.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Vic Fangio put the squash on it.
Perhaps. But, I mean, that was the game this year. I'm thinking of the right game.
Great game.
They blocked all those kicks
100%.
and all that kind of stuff.
And if I'm the Eagles, that's the team I kind of don't want to see. Because
Me too. I don't think everybody doesn't want to see.
The potential of what that offense can be, because we talk about Vic Fangio, what happens in a game where they do give up 21 points? Can you go out there and match if Puka Nacua makes a play? Devontae Adams is back in there.
About the cautious optimism.
I'm just
the hope.
That's the cautious.
That means you got some questions around.
It's not unabashed. It's not reckless optimism. It's cautious optimism in Philly.
It's 2026, and I want to talk about Brandin Cooks.
Yes.
Because why not? Brandin Cooks showed up late in the season, and over the last few weeks has been a weapon for the Buffalo Bills, something that they've been missing. If Brandin Cooks can hit the time machine and in January suddenly become a legitimate number 2 or 3 option and be their speed guy deep, well, Jason McCourty, I know you all know all too well about stopping Brandin Cooks in a Super Bowl, but I would say that he could very well be the difference for the Buffalo Bills as they try to make this run on the road over the next few weeks.
Very impressive Sunday, the plays he made down the field, especially the contested one, because that's not even something we've seen from Cooks over the last several years. But when you talk about that speed element, it is such a difference for this offense. Khalil Shakir is amazing, but that is all short passes. Keon Coleman, inactive for them. He was supposed to be the draft pick to be that threat on the outside. Josh Allen needs more help. We know what James Cook is able to do and how dangerous he is out of the backfield. But on the outside, they don't have the weapons with the health of Dalton Kincaid. So a guy like Brandin Cooks would be huge for them stepping up if he can do that week in and week out throughout the playoffs.
If you told me in March that we would be talking on December 31st about Brandin Cooks in a Buffalo Bills jersey being the difference for an MVP quarterback.
Shiggs, if you told me that 2 weeks ago when he asked for his release from New Orleans.
But he's making big catches, and Terrell Shavers is making big catches. And 14 to the Bills. They're going to have to come from the back of the pack to do it. Allen has never won a road playoff game for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Can this team win 3 road playoff games?
Yes. Listen, at this stage of the game, for Josh Allen, you have to get it done. We've talked all season about how the path has been cleared for the Buffalo Bills. I understand. Could he use some more help? Of course. Every quarterback wants a little extra something, especially this time of year. But this team, I think for me, their Super Bowl hinges on James Cook. Like I do get Josh Allen is the key, but you cannot abandon the run. You cannot. James Cook has to be a focal point. But they do have enough weapons, and they should get it done.
Well, that's to our next New Year's resolution. Another team that has have to come from the back of the pack is the Pack. J-Mac, what is your New Year's resolution for Green Bay?
They're going to have to score fast and early in the game. Sometimes you go through a year and you're a little bit down on your luck. For the Packers, injuries on the defensive side of the ball has made that run defense extremely weak. We saw it in prime time going against those Baltimore Ravens. Put the ball in Jordan Love's hands, assuming that he's healthy, comes out of protocol, and allow him to be the dangerous one. Be aggressive on offense, get in the end zone early.
You know, coaches, and they should, always say, we don't make excuses. But I've been saying for years, some things aren't excuses, they're reasons.
I mean,
the Green Bay Packers are beat to shreds. And every single year, you know, there's a contender that just can't do it because they're just not healthy. Last year it was the Lions, and I think this year it's
just ravaged with injury on the defensive side of the ball. And you're seeing names that we were not even familiar with a couple of weeks ago having to play big minutes for them. Derrick Henry just embarrassed the entire defensive unit, but it wasn't the defensive unit we expected to see in September. No excuses. They seem like they're the perennial 7 seed now. That's just what they are in the playoffs. Can they make a run? I don't know with this unit on defense.
No, I mean, this was a Super Bowl team a month ago. They haven't won a game since they lost Micah Parsons. All right, let me jump to the last one here because Kmart, this one is yours, and I'm interested in this. What is your New Year's resolution for the Bills?
Appealing, but you can win with it. So I think the Eagles on experience and the style of play, I think they can win it all.
Yeah, I say contender. You don't discount a team that won the Super Bowl last year, despite the ups and downs that they've had on offense this year. They've had a get back the last couple of games. Yeah, they only won by 1 point last week, but that's a championship caliber defense that Vic Fangio is coordinating. They're getting healthy at the right time, and of course I'm thinking of someone like Jalen Carter there. We know he's a game wrecker. We know what he did in the playoffs last year to end the Los Angeles Rams run. I anticipate that level of play from that pass rush coming alive at the most critical points of the season, so I will say contender.
I feel like I'm about to rob a bank right now. This music.
That's like the breaking news music. What is
Ocean's 11? Like, what are we?
NFL primetime bed 11. I don't know what you want from me. This is
What James Bond movie is this,
the deep
man?
cut one.
Like a car chase. All right, we'll switch it up.
It's like when they break into the bank through the front door. Everybody on the ground. That's that beast.
That's what those guys in France were playing. Contenders.
That was all an inside job, by the way.
Well, yeah, obviously. Anyway, contenders or pretenders? The Steelers or Ravens, depending on who makes the playoffs, Courtney.
Both of them are pretenders. This is an easy one for me. Neither team deserves to be in the playoff field, if we're being honest about it. I don't believe that the Steelers' offense, what we've seen over the last 4 games, but particularly that stretch from week 14 to week 16, you think it's fixed. Well, look what happened in Cleveland last week. No for me on the Steelers, and no for me on Baltimore. Yes, Derrick Henry's incredible. Is he going to be on the field? And that's not a given with this team when we go back to that Patriots game from 2 weeks ago. Like, what the hell are we doing? You just gave up 15 unanswered points. Where the hell's Derrick Henry? Yeah. No, neither team should even. We did promotion and relegation this year with these two. Get them the hell out of here. Absolutely not.
You could combine these teams and I call them a pretender still. Like, I mean, yeah, the Derrick Henry thing that